Welcome back. Thanks again for stopping in for the Mist Adventures of Mr. Fish. I'm Mr. Fish. This is round 2 hobby hangout. Uh, Welcome. We're just painting up some commandos. See here. Yeah, it's actually good. I think my adjustments actually helped out quite a bit. So I'm glad I decided to do it. Hopefully, I don't shake the heck out of the table. Feels like I am. No, just want to put my hands down initially. Nice. I like when they have like little glyphs on the stick bombs. The symbol for exploding. Sorry, I have the camera at a weird angle right now to try and get the best thing there, but you can see it. This one doesn't seem to have a lot of metal that I want to do. I'm okay with that, actually. Actually, though, this did just make me aware something here. Let's see. The black is dry, so I might have to go back over a little bit of green on him. Like, I just might have to do that. Doing a little detour in the color world palette. I got that just a little bit too wet. A little bit brighter skin tone on him too. So I'm gonna actually go back and re-highlight some of his actual face too to compensate for that. The downside to thinking you're done with stuff and then trying new stuff to try and do stuff and then realizing other stuff that you didn't do. hair bit of highlight on this. I'm an aggressive painter, so I'm not too worried. But I'm not looking good because I know what's going to happen is it'll lighten up and I'll just have to wash it back down. You see this side is already a little bit lighter. But I'm kind of glad I goofed. Because had I not goofed on that, you want to notice that I got silver on the knuckles. That's the dust. Let's go a little bit more than needs. This is all these blades. This is one of the only ones that I didn't do axes with. But just because the knives were pretty obvious for it being like a throat slitter. Pretty sure he's like called like a cutter boy. And if you're watching this video on a recap, leave a comment down below. You are the true all-star of this. And if you happen to be a streamer and have any tips, tricks, or anything like that, definitely let me know. I know when I was debating on doing these, and I was debating on either using my Twitch account, using my Insta, Facebook, or YouTube, the strong suggestion was YouTube, just because of how easily it saves the VODs and stuff like that. Doom, what is up, brother? Making me feel all fancy and stuff. Just sitting here goofing off with some of the commandos. They've been driving me nuts, and it's funny because I think I spent more time just doing a few of these metallics on their weapons and stuff than I did in the entire batch of
Camo print. Well, the Doom, you like me are a stream lurker. You happen to be everywhere all the time, and so you make me feel fancy because that just means I'm legit. And to be fair, I'm also following my own stream at this point too, because that way I can actually see what's going on and know that I'm not just being a dummy and not painting properly and stuff. Since the camera I'm using is my phone, so the picture's actually above my head right now. I think the worst part about all this is, which actually I'm actually kind of liking this because I'm using this plate mail by Army Painter. And so usually I use like a gunmetal and then do a silver, but honestly, this is doing pretty good by itself. And I probably just weather it down, use like either a black wash or a strong wash or something like that, and bring it back. But man, these commandos have so many just like little hidden details in them. How am I liking it? Painting or streaming? I'm enjoying both. The painting is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be because these commandos have been driving me nuts. Uh, the and these army painters are just they're really good. Like, and I like the fact that I got it in the little birthday kit. Yeah, and they got the little balls in them and stuff like that. But like I typically just use like normal, just regular cheap craft paints. Like I started with cars and stuff. So yeah, and then I just spit it down and stuff. So this is a lot nicer because it's just a lot more even. And then I just use the palette and stuff like that. So I'm really liking it. One thing I was talking about when I on the first half of this, because like I said, I rebooted it just because there was a few weird things that I didn't like. But I used to use enamels on all my metallics because just the shine and everything like that just looks so good. But those are so bad for your lungs. Like, it's usually a well ventilated area and stuff like that. But man, I'll tell you what, they stink to high heaven. When it comes to paint, if it stinks, it's probably not good for you. So that's called the brush lickers. So what are you doing on your end of doom? You just waking up, staying up way too late, hobbying along. Give me the tea. A vent chain. What's a vent chain? Oh man. So I'm a Xenos player through and through, but I would definitely get rid of part of my pile of shame for some knights. My buddy has a couple Imperial knights that just stay there, and I'm just like, I'm looking forward to the day that I have a big enough wah that I can actually get him to put those on the table because I just want to get obliterated. But yeah, they're so cool. Oh, oh, like an actual chain of vents. Got it. Okay, that's really cool. Oh, yeah. I need a booth. I actually have a pretty decent airbrush, but it's one of those things that without the dedicated space for it and splashback, I can only really use it outside and stuff, and it is too damn cold for that right now.
Oh man. Tell you what, though, these commandos are probably the first time I ever actually been like, mind a wet palette, because this is way longer than I thought it would. It's like, there's so many little cool details in these commandos. Oh, and I'm gonna have to go back and do their teeth too. I forgot about teeth. Not all of them have smiles, but lots of them do.
Oh, see, I'm up in Eastern Washington myself, so yeah, I'm about a 2 hour drive, 3 hour drive from the Canadian border, so I feel that. I think me and you were talking about it. Are you the one that's over in Montana? Yeah, and I didn't feel that with the. Uh, oh, weird. Did I touch something? Okay. Oh, so ready for this bit of eccentricity from Mr. Fish? I don't believe in North Dakota. I believe that there is uh, very far north South Dakota and very far south Canada. But there's not actually a North Dakota. They just call South Dakota to trick people into thinking that Canada is not as much into the US as it is. See, you know exactly what I'm laying down. But yeah, but yeah. Even if I don't believe in North Dakota, I know what you're saying though. You guys got those big old open fields and stuff like that. So I grew up in a big old West Plains area out here in Washington. So wind storms and stuff like that definitely reminds you how cold it can get. I have to debate whether or not I'm gonna go back and actually do these like cloth looking things as cloth because there's like leather. Oh, so you had the real snow too. I'm trying to figure out which of these are actually like other things, like a little grenade here. That's why everyone paints in sub assemblies. I don't do subs. Dubs, not subs. Oh, that's awesome. I've never actually been over to the Rockies themselves. I've been like near the Rockies, but never actually to the real Rockies. Like I've been in the mountainous areas of like Montana and stuff like that, driving through to go through down to like Boise, Idaho and stuff like that. Just because you have to go through it in weird ways, you know. It gets weird once you start getting into the Pacific Northwest. there was a little one squeal there. She must be tossing and turning in her sleep. We'll see. Actually, see if Dad has to do a pause soon. Oh, see, yeah, that's too much. I grew up by an airport on the West Plains, so like we would get like the huge snow drifts and stuff like that. I can't do snow that's tall. I'm a big guy, so like you start getting into that deep snow, I'm just basically assuming I'm gonna drown. Oh man, I think I got all those little sneaky bits. So yeah, I'm just kind of batch painting a bunch of these commandos just because I'm tired of seeing them on my shelf. Yeah, I know. I feel that you guys over man. When we drove back from Canada a few years ago, we went through. You know what? We probably did go through part of the Rockies when we were going through Montana because I remember seeing some of the excavators and stuff like that. Some of the big rigs that they had that were just gigantic and stuff. And yeah, they had the giant signs where they had to have the snow warnings because it gets so deep that like you might lose the road. Ooh, I got a little bit right here. Didn't pop. That's we'll see. Might not clip it. Might clip it later. We'll debate on that's future fish problems. That sounds vaguely familiar. It was a few years back, and I was driving, not paying attention to where we were driving to. But I definitely know it took a while for us to get signal back once we crossed the border, I'll tell you that much. Alright, gotta paint a little less aggressively because I think I'm shaking the hell out of the table. Yeah, I want to say my fondest memory of Montana was stopping at a rest stop and hand feeding some squirrels. It was the weirdest thing in my life. So these like little ground squirrels come up out of nowhere because they're so cool with people, and they're like, "You got some crackers?" Oh man, to get some water because I can hear my dryness in my mouth. And that's probably not too pleasant for anybody else who's here. Oh, yeah, see. That's one of the things too, is like, especially in those areas, you guys get the way different wildlife. Like we get like some of the bigger game and stuff like that, like the moose. But you guys get all sorts of that kind of stuff. Like you guys even get like mountain goats and stuff. I'm going to assume you're either working or hobbying. So I feel like you said you were driving somewhere, but maybe that was somebody else I was talking to earlier. Oh, 3D print work. That's what I. That's right. I have such a love-hate relationship with 3D printing. I think it's such a cool concept. It is literally a hobby in itself, though. It's so intense. I give anyone who's willing to do that credit. Like Kyle Gear Guts, the fact that he comes out like a new model every day, almost, it's just the most insane thing ever. I think the Pale Orc has started working on 3D sculpting as well. Ooh, what upgrades are you looking at getting printed off? Like, do you just do like swaps, or are you like a full customizer? I don't. I notice a lot of the painting stuff and whatnot, things like that, that you put up on like the discords and stuff, but I don't think I ever really paid attention to the 3D printing section. Tiny buckle, tiny buckle. Look at this guy, so many little rounds, and I'm just thinking to myself, does this gun even shoot these bullets? It's awesome. I have a buddy here locally that does a lot of 3D printing, and he does stuff for gas lands that I use. He does like little motors and stuff like that at a Hot Wheels scale. And I just got him to do a bunch of series of them for micro machines so I can start customizing some killer tiny cars. Cerestus Knight. Not sure which ones those are. Those the big boys? Like the bigger than a stomper ones? See, and I feel like that's what happened with a lot of people when it came to Gaslands. Is that, you know, because it's one of those weird things that with like hobbyists and stuff, people have already spent so much money on their armies. They're like, I don't want to spend $10 on Hot Wheels and stuff. the irony of it all. Oh, the Forge World one. Yeah, the big, big boy. So yeah, my buddy, he's got the what was it, the trio that you get in the Armageddon box or the Apocalypse box or whatever those nights. Those ones. Oh man, and that's the one that's like the size of the. I don't know if you ever watch Scarcast Scary. He's got one of the big ol' Eldar knights. Those are like the big ones like that, aren't they? So it's kind of funny is when I got into orcs. Well, I've always been into green skins and orcs and stuff like that, but like actually getting 40k orcs, I started in Kill Team and I had this big old Hot Wheels car carrier that I wanted to convert into a carry case for my Kill Team, and so I converted over with like a battle wagon in mind, and now I found out that it's basically like twice the size of a battle wagon. I think when I measured it's some like 18 inches long. Oh, just about 18 inches tall. So yeah, it's probably about as long as yours is tall. So I'm like, yeah, pretty sure even in the proxy world, people are never gonna let that one slide. I feel like I'm making pretty decent progress on these. It's about halfway done with the metallics on these commandos when I restarted the stream to adjust the camera and stuff, which it's still not perfect because I'm pretty sure the white balance on my phone with the light that I'm using is not playing too nice. Good thing he's only got one bullet earring. That's the other thing too, is I'm painting all these bullets silver, and I'm probably gonna go back over and hit them all with brass casings, anyways. Yeah. One of the things I did look investing at one point was a 3D printer when I get some more space because the wife and I are looking at moving here pretty soon. Actually, having a bigger dedicated hobby space so I can not just throw things together like this. And I was like, man, I would spend so much time just finding things, printing things. I'd probably spend more on 3D printing than on actual 40k. Granted, if you spent as much on 3D printing as you did on actual 40k, you'd probably have 10 times the army. But it's one of those things that I'm terrible about making time for myself for the hobby in the first place without picking up a second hobby. And I wonder how many of these little straps I'm actually going to go back because now I'm actually painting them like these little leather straps. I do not. Uh, I've thought about getting into Age of Sigmar, uh, but the thing that mainly calls to me is like the giants and the trolls and stuff. Damn, they're so expensive. Like a cheap model is like $75 for like the half size guys, and then like the cool ones are, 100, $200, if not more. Which, I mean, they're worth it. It's just it feels bad, 200 bucks. I got a whole box of Snagga Boys, like the codex and all that stuff. Yeah, the Giants are their night equivalents, right? So, Army, yeah. See, my buddy was originally trying to get me in to it as well when they did. What was it? The whatever the box set that just came out. He's like, "Would you want these cruel boys?" I don't. I just don't dig them. They're cool and all, but to me, they're lizard men without tails. And although they have some really cool sculpts in them, the generic ones, like I don't I don't like the Hobgrots as all. Like I did not. They look so weird. See, okay, yeah. The Chaos Armies and or the equivalent. I don't. What are they called? I don't even know off the top of my head what they're actually called in that. But like yeah, I've seen some pretty neat ones, and I've seen some proxy ones too. Like what's the one with the giant frogs? They're cute in like a creepy vile way. Oh, that's cool. I can't check it right now, but I will definitely hit you up about it later when I do get to be able to check it out. Just because with how my setup is right now, I can't really see it. Oh, neat. Okay, I'd have to look into that. So sometimes when it comes to things like that, my inner selfishness kicks in a little bit because I'm like, that'd be so cool to jump in and do that Patreon, but it's like I don't have a 3D printer myself, so it's like, hey, I'm gonna hook this person up with this file so they can print it off for me. But then they have the file, and so it's like they could technically take what I spent my $10 on, and they could print themselves like $1,000 worth of it, and it's really cool that I'm hooking them up. But see, yeah, and I appreciate the liquid resin stuff over the filament corded ones and stuff like that. It looks just they look so cool, much better. I think, before when I did my rockets, I did the metallic base before I did the blues. So fingers crossed they get the right shades. See, like, the thing that I would really want, and it's so weird, but like, I want shark orcs. Like, imagine knobs, but like the street sharks. I don't know if you remember street sharks or not. But like, I mean, yeah. Oh, I did see it. Yeah. See, and they're so detailed and stuff with their stuff too. Like, I'm I'm always worried that it's gonna like show up and then like it's gonna be one of them super fancy resin kits. I'm gonna spend just as long like washing it and cleaning it up and stuff as I am going to be, putting it together and painting it. I mean, I know that they don't actually print themselves and stuff like that, but you know what I mean? Like finding somebody that to print at that level of quality. But don't theirs all come pre-supported too? So I know that's one thing that kind of kicks some people's butts is when they have to actually come up with the supports on them as well. Yeah, that's awesome. So I have to say, one thing that's kind of nice about my little half-ass setup I have here is that I have a pretty big screen that I have playing in the background so I can see how I'm doing on here, and it does make it a lot easier to keep up with chat when the text box is like the size of my face. Yeah. But I do know when like there was some people that did like the squig hogs. There was like somebody that did a shark. Was it the drunken orc that did a shark squig? Sometimes I wonder if I'm partially ADD by the way I bounce around from piece to piece, painting as I see it. I mean, at this point, I assume everyone's somewhere on the spectrum. Maybe that's what it was. Was the Captain Crunch on the shark? I'll have to hit up. I'll have to hit up Sydney and see if that's the one he picked up. Do I have it all? All of the metal stuff. The thought process that I go through while painting
sometimes, randomly dropping remixes of songs to so, whether or not I was going to do a little bit of metal there, but I think those little dags there need it. So we got two more actual orcs. The grot and the squig I haven't even touched yet. These guys are so ridiculous. Like, and I'm so excited to start working on my orc truck that I just picked up, but it super sucks because like I have such a backlog with my Snagga boys and stuff like that that I like feel guilty wanting to build it because I know if I build it, I could definitely paint it faster than everything else because it's just a car. And I started my hobby experience with cars, so I feel more comfortable with them, and so I just need to get through these guys so I can actually go and enjoy building that truck. I know not everybody enjoys the building part of the hobby, but it's a sick model. I'm a little butthurt that it looks smaller than I thought it was going to be initially, but like I said, my first big car custom thing that I built, first I built, is huge. I have to come back and get all these browns too. There's like the ropes and stuff that technically the ropes are part of the equipment, and so I shouldn't have put them on there because they're not really supposed to be on there unless I take them, but I'm not WYSIWYGing these guys. And they're kind of WYSIWYG, but I'm not WYSIWYGing their equipment because ropes are irrelevant in big 40k anyways. And I'm debating on what this little spiral thing, trying some OSL again. I'm just going to do a metal for right now, but let's see what I do with this little coil. I wonder if I tighten this up just a little bit more. Ooh. It'll help with the wiggling just a little bit. It'd probably help with the wiggling if I wasn't like leaning on the table and aggressively painting.
Actually picking it up way easier than I was expecting it to. Welcome back. Ooh, yeah. Way to be safe. Don't want you like melting your hand off or nothing. Or worse, like, having to take resin casts and molding yourself a new hand or whatever. I don't know what to do with these little headphones either. I thought about leaving them with purple, but they get lost, and I think that they're definitely something that should be showed off. Ooh. Oh yeah, because yeah, it is the UV reactive and stuff like that. So yeah, you wouldn't even know that it's like in your pores and stuff, and gross. Uh, Fun fact about me: hand stuff grosses me out. Phrasing, um, but a few years back, I used to work at a gas station and had a propane blast back. Uh, you can't quite tell; it's very subtle, but like there's like some weird, mild discoloration on my hands where I actually had to have like band, but basically I was disconnecting the hose and got like instant like blisters. It was so gnarly, and I did not enjoy, hand trauma situations beforehand, like, in movies when people are like getting dragged downstairs and their fingernails rip off and stuff. And oh, yeah, dude, it was so gross. They look like giant slugs on my hand. Cold blisters are the worst. Yeah. So I was very fortunate. Like, worst happens is like in the winter, I have to wear like gloves and stuff. But yeah, thankfully I don't have to worry too much. Like it's not like I'm not like arthritic or anything from it yet, but you know, that's something I do have to be aware of. But yeah, there's at a certain point in my life I could have lost some fingers. I think that might be it for this guy. So just like fill like little filters. I think that's it on him that I want to do until I go back and start throwing colors on. Last orc, and then the two little guys. Yeah. Well, and you'd think I would be better about stuff too. Like, I actually have like little scars on the tip of my thumbs just from how many times I've accidentally jabbed myself with like a hobby knife and stuff like that. Just like trying to chop stuff off a sprue or whatever, trying to trim something, trying to shave off some stuff. Yeah. But like, hey, there's Erox. See, he was the one that gave me the advice. He's like, dude, you got YouTube. Use your YouTube. And now you're here. You stud, you. You're over in some Asian time zones, so it's already maybe already the next day over there. What? Let's see. When I first started, it was like 5 o'clock Brax time. So if I was, yeah, no, I get that, Jim. See, that was the thing too. Is like I thought about it, like joining up on the Twitch side of things, but it's a little bit trickier because there's a lot more like intention behind it. Like you have to put forth a little bit more effort for it to be taken kind of more seriously, like with the VODs and stuff like that. Whereas like this, this whole chat, somebody else can come and listen to our banter later, no problem and stuff. You know, so but it's something that I definitely want to look into when I have more dedicated hobby space. And in fact, Yarax, you did tell me that you would be here if I set up, and so guess what? I double appreciate you. Mind you, future me might be a little bit tired tomorrow from staying up and painting, but you know what? I probably would have been staying up here painting, watching somebody else's YouTube, watching somebody else stream, watching whatever. So now I've actually put some effort into making my hobby a better hobby, and that is because of amazing people like you. So thank you. I was really iffy about this breacher boy because I I really like this big old ram that he's got, but like I don't know if I'm really gonna use it. It just looked cool, but I'm interested to see how well it weathers up. And I also kind of enjoy people coming in here and seeing my gangster setup where I'm literally just pouring paint onto a board and painting off of it. It's one of those things, anyone can do it. You don't gotta have all the stuff. You just gotta have the will. Right? Thanks to Doom. Now, if I could figure out a way to paint with my arms slightly braced without shaking the hell out of this camera, it'd definitely make a huge difference. I appreciate that. And I'd actually would totally be down to learn some history of from people because I know like Big McDanskull does YouTube and Twitch streaming, and he switched to almost exclusively Twitch. Uh, but that he already had a following before he did that. The only perk I have is that I've becoming part of enough communities that I can, kind of spam myself out there a little bit, which is so weird, man. Like you talk about it, it feels weird. Like you almost feel guilty shilling yourself. Like, it's like I don't think of myself as nobody fancy and stuff like that, but it's one of those things that I enjoy the hobby and I like to share that. And if I can potentially give somebody a tip or confidence to do something, like that's the point. I want to give back to all these amazing people that have put up with my ramblings and their chats forever. Man, I wonder. I might have to readjust my camera again because I'll tell you what, the way, like, as aggressively as I'm painting this, I might have to do stuff. If I put my foot down this side, maybe it'll brace it a little bit better. Yeah, and two, like, it's so funny too seeing like how many of us bounce around to all these different communities and stuff because it really does show that love, that we have for one another, even though we're all strangers around the world. Like it's just it's it's cool just that we still have that ability to kind of bond over the mutual love of just goofing off and hobbying. Kind of excited because with it now being Veterans Day, the wifey works in the banking industry, and then with the kiddo, so they both have t- tomorrow/today off, and we're gonna go hang out with a friend I haven't seen in forever, who is actually a veteran, and I definitely missed him. I haven't seen him in a while, so I'm excited for that later. So I might sleep in though if I need to. That is a pretty in a nutshell. So yeah, definitely the community is the best part. Cause yeah, it is one of those weird things too. Yeah, that you'll notice that with Twitch, because even I'm guilty of it. Where I'll follow raids, I'll do stuff, and I'll watch people, but then I'll realize, oh, this is this person's kind of go-to. But in reality, will I actually ever watch this person? You know, is this what I want, or am I just being a nice guy and trying to support them? You know, at that point, am I being more negative, unfortunately, by just forcing myself to watch something I don't actually want to watch. Kind of like, popping over to stuff. Like, I enjoy gaming content and stuff, but like, not always. Like a lot of the gaming content I watch is on YouTube because it's done in such a way that it feels more story driven. Whereas, like, a lot of streamers that play video games, it feels more like a let's play, where it's just like, almost like a walkthrough on how to play a game. Some people do it really well, others I'm like, meh. See, yeah, and I don't really check. live streams either. I didn't even realize that live streams were really a thing up until like the start of the year on YouTube. Had it not been though for live streams, I wouldn't have actually found a lot of the community I have, because with Dan, Big Mac Dan Skull, he he posted a video or whatever, and I went to go watch it, and then it ended up being his live, and so I got a BS with him for a little bit, and uh, then he's like, "Yeah, if you want to see more, like tomorrow I'll be on my Twitch," and I just started on a Twitch account because of a D&D podcast I listened to started doing live shows. And so I said, you know what? I'm a stay-at-home dad now. I got time to burn. I'll check out Twitch. Uh, and then it's just been a downward spiral of so many awesome creators that I'm just like overwhelmed, because it's just, it's like I want to support them all, but it's like you and you are on at the same time. I can't support both of you. I feel like such a bad fan. See, and I know they've been pushing the live streams a lot more too. The one thing I'm not enjoying, and even though I'm like trying to kind of jump on the bandwagon, is like the reels, because like I avoid TikTok on purpose. Like I I can only deal. I like the cringe content. It's okay. Like the stuff that Orky does is all good. Uh, but I can only hear the same song 652 times in a row before I just no longer care about that TikTok trend. And now that Reels and all those other short videos exist that are just copies of those TikTok videos, like they're not even just real videos, they're just like TikTok videos redone. That's so draining. You just accidentally sit there for 6 hours watching stupid stuff, and you're like, I was today's old when, you know, I'm like, but how did you not know that? Or like, what's the one that's like the people are thinking they're smart, where they're like, give me $20. I'm gonna put $20 on the table, and I'm gonna pay you $30 for your $20, and then I'll take this uh, $40, and we both made 10. And it's like, anyone who does math knows that that's not the case. Yeah, no, I understand. Like with the TikTok thing, I understand why it's clever. I'm just not ready to jump on that bandwagon. I say as I literally probably watch like 6 hours of stupid reels on like Facebook. I think unless I want to add some metallics to his face because it is a helmet. Yeah, so I don't like this like little plate, like face itself. Ooh yeah, Speed Racer. So I live near a main arterial road, and it goes down a pretty big hill. So people like to speed down every once in a while in the middle of the night because no one else is around. Not a big deal usually, but every once in a while you guys get a nice little reminder of what my neighborhood is like. somebody else is racing. Let's see if you guys hear this one. Oh no, yeah, that totally makes sense. Cause like oh neat. Uh see yeah, cause like that's one of those things that like I feel bad because I don't have a lot of extra money to do stuff like that. Cause subscription services they can get spendy when they start adding up. Not that it's that much, but like you follow 20, 30 streamers, that that becomes a good chunk of change. That's a cable bill, you know. And so it's kind of it's one of those things why I just I support the best way I can by doing things like what you guys are doing right now. You guys chatting with me, it's keeping me company while I'm just doing something that I enjoy. And to me, that is better than any price tag that you could throw on something. But it's cool that they are going to figure out ways to compensate those that have put forth that effort, have grown, and want to be able to show their community the same kind of love that the community shows them. I think gifted subs is probably the coolest thing ever, just because it's a way of neighbors helping neighbors in a way. I've never actually personally subbed to anyone, but I have gifted subs to people before, just when I had some extra money, just because I know it means a lot to the other people. So I know I do love these little grot flippers. I debated on just doing them solid black, but I was like, no, a grot would definitely have those camo too. And I do love the fact that you can use this in big 40k as a distraction grot. Like, it doesn't actually have like a physical use, but they're like, just use it as a token. I'm actually, oh, uh, I've just actually got my first Gear Guts model on its way. Tanya, the War Mistress, just got her Dogosaur War Boss, and so I had to pick it up just because in my local area, the War Boss has been sold out since it dropped, and you can't get it online either, and I'm not paying eBay prices for it. So I'm excited to get her. It's the War Boss and Dogosaur, which is the uh, Mordrog Beastbox on Squigosaur or whatever, Morgod or Morgad. I don't know. Orky McOrky name. Man, I love this little cheeser. He is just literally such a silly one. Like, I know a lot of people did like the snorkel version of him, but I just love this like Gru face that he has in this one. Actually, I've developed a theory. So with the little one being almost 2 years old now, we've started watching like Disney and DreamWorks movies because the flashing colors and stuff like that. Get her all excited about life. Oh man, yeah, this is a bad example of how bad my primer speckled and ran out. But anyways, so we started watching these, and so we started watching Despicable Me, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, Gru is a runtard, and minions are grots. They're invincible grots, but they're grots. You watch that movie and you just think about orcs the whole time you're watching it. It makes sense, start to finish. Hey, no worries, Alex. I appreciate you stopping by in the first place. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go in the anyways, cause what I think I'm over an hour and change on the second one, so that means I'm probably at like 1:30 my time. It's AM, in case I needed to clarify. But it's been nice. I'm glad that I mustered up the courage and just jumped on because it's been kind of nice just to chit chat with people. With more than just text, like actually being able to use my voice. Oh man, yeah. I with my little, I watch so many cartoons, but I'm a child at heart, anyways. I watch cartoons for the fun of it, so I just use the kiddo as an excuse to watch more. Shh. Oh yeah. So if it's 3:15 there, it's either 1:15 or 2:15 here. Yeah. If it's 1:15 here. So so, but nothing's happened where the wifey haven't laughed or anything like that too hard and scare the hell out of her while she's sleeping. So far so good. Yeah, because I don't know if you can tell by the amount of bass in my voice, especially at a lower register, but it carries very well through our house. Are you kidding me? I just realized that this is a pack of TNT, like dynamite sticks, that are like coming flying out. That's a really cool detail. That's gonna be a pain in the butt to want to paint and not accidentally break. I'm debating on what color I want to do this one too, because like uh the red on red just doesn't look good. And after I did my cheetah and tiger squig, I definitely like the animal print on my blood axe squigs. So I was I was thinking about playing on my name a little bit and doing some fish squigs, like because like I said, I've been watching a lot of Disney movies and like watching like Finding Nemo. Uh, Thinking like Dory's color prints and stuff like that would be a great reference for squigs. Here I am trying to like put forth effort into being nice in my paint, and I haven't even painted the teeth or anything like on it yet. So It doesn't even matter that I'm putting minimal like paint on it right now. Is that everybody? I think it is. I think that's all the metallics, like some things I can touch up now that everything's dry a little bit, just to have that extra coat on it. But I think it is. Man. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to put some paint in weird angles. Okay, so this guy, it looks like he's got his done. He's got all his metallics done. At least all his silvers. Helium. Let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely falling in love with this metallic from Army Painters, because it is just going on so well. Like, even if I do find little spots where I just, barely miss something, I'm just like, not a big deal. Like, it goes so evenly on. That is so cool, though. My main complaint that I have with orcs, I mean, I don't know what you're making claws for, but the main complaint I have for orcs is there's not very many power hands or power claws for both hands. Like, most of them are almost all left-handed. Vinny V. I do not know who that is. Are they a streamer or something? Oh, Tyranid Claws. My buddy plays Nids, and yeah. That is something too that if I had a 3D printer, I would do. Like, I would definitely be down for building a Nid army based on the 3D models from Starship Troopers, because since they were all CGI, you know for a fact that somewhere out there they already got them. Vinny V. I'll check him out. I will check him out. As soon as I'm done here, or if you want to link that with what you sent me earlier, I'll definitely check them out if you can do that handy. If you can, no big deal, bro. So I think I am done with these. So My question I have for myself now is I want to jump to gold. On those few things I want gold. Do I want to switch to browns? Hit these ropes and leather bits that I'm going to do. Or do I want to switch to another color and hit the few random BS things like the red cord that I want to put on the Scorcha, the blue rockets, and stuff like that. Perfect, the doom. Thank you. Oh, hobby cheating. I'm all about that. Like 99% of what I do, like even my work skin, not necessarily the best skin and stuff like that, but I just literally do like a dry brush almost on most of my skin. That's what gives me like nice variations and stuff like that. But then, gotta come back and still do like a little bit of highlighting on like the lips and stuff like that, which I don't necessarily do, but it's, a side effect of trying to put paint on teeth. Wasn't going to, but I wanted to add a little bit of metallic on this little face right here. So I like it more than I should. Nice. Like as in like a specific model, paint, brand, color, and stuff like that. Because yeah, there's definitely some stuff like that. Like one of the things I am 50-50 on is I want to invest in Turbo Dork just because like the color shift is so cool. But then I'm like, I'll use that on at most 6 squigogs. And then what? Do I really want to pay like $8 for, a paint bottle this size that I'm going to use like a dot of paint out of? Oh, see, that's cool. Because like that's one of those things. That's one of the main reasons I use craft paint instead of a lot of hobby paints, is because the colors that I get to use. Like my big issue that I deal with. Pardon, I just took a drink of water. But uh, like it's like the slight kind of graininess that they have because like the pigments are bigger in the craft paint, but like I've yet to find, like the specific of purples, and I love these for my purple camo. Um, you know, uh, the where is it? Not cobalt, too blue. Uh, Almost all of my rockets are a combination of two blue and Caribbean because this adds like a great rich tone to it, and then this hits with a very vibrant tone for weathering, uh, and it just ends up looking amazing. And yes, I could probably find these blues, but like this is 50 cents. I can experiment as much as I want. Actually, that's really smart. Looking into the D&D lines for some of the colors and stuff, like, because well, Army Painter has some decent ones. Like, I haven't tried it yet, but there's this alien purple. Oh, yeah, I haven't, can't even hear the bead going around in it 'cause it's still so full. Good to know. Good name drop on those two too. Oh man, I'm actually excited to go check out Zambi's video for the Beast Bash or Monster Bash. She got invited to the number 3, and then Dark Elf Girl. I'm debating on putting something into the grayscale challenge because I've never painted in grayscale, and I actually think it'd be really fun. But like, everything I paint is this, very vibrant and stuff like that. So it would be way out of the norm for me. All right, I think I'm gonna lay a little bit of gold down, and then I might add a little bit of washes on these guys. See, this gold is so rich. Like, this army painter gold, like I've never actually had like a true gold, and this is, they call it greedy gold, and I say that that is an accurate name. But like, I love doing a little bits of gold on like the coils. I think it looks so good. Cause it almost has like that kind of copperiness to it, like just a little bit prettier, so that when I grime it down, it does well. Oh, yeah, good choice in that color pop. I'm gonna do the wires as well in that color. Or do I want to do another color? There's like 6 wires. There's no way I'm gonna do each of those as individual wires. That idea can get bent. Dude, I am down. I'm down for all the knowledge. Between the little ones, nap times, and me trying to hobby, I've watched so much BS content in the background that I am always absorbing as much input as possible, like Johnny Five, Short Circuit. So I appreciate it. See, yeah, because like metallics are so weird. Like I understand why some people actually switch to the non-metal metallics because they want a specific rich tone, and if you use actual metallics, you can't get that color palette. And I had this kind of brassy copper tone that I used for a long time. It was like an enamel, and so that's why I kind of got addicted to the kind of goldish, shiny color on my hoses. Like, this gold right here is probably 50% of the recipe they use for Stormcast Eternals. Like, it has like that little bit of a reddish hue to it. Oh, I can deal with dry. Like, because, what is it? Apex Tactics, I think it is, that he very analytical, and so it comes off kind of, I don't know, very monotone in essence because it's very knowledge based. He's not trying to just build up hype. He's not trying to entertain you. He's trying to educate you. Entertainment is just a perk. So yeah, I'll definitely have to check him out. Fallout's just specifically the stuff that, that screams, hey, watch me. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna go back and just hit everything that looks coily gold. But that little bit of color contrast does help a little bit and not feeling like I'm just being lazy in my paint job. I like it. So I want to do that. Do I want to go back through and hit all these bullet casings with this gold? So ooh, that zoomed out more than I meant it to. Whoa. That zoomed in more than I wanted to. Right there. I'm pretty sure that's basically exactly where I was before. Ooh, why are you getting so mad? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do just a little bit more and a random color pops. Before I go into the actual like things that need one color, like the rockets. There's only one guy that has rockets out of everybody. There's only, one guy that's got a power claw. There's only, Are you shitting me right now? Pardon my language. Are you literally a piece of sprue right there? And I just thought you were part of the grenade?
little so and so. Well, fingers crossed the wash hides that little tick mark. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get back out the metal paints. Do I want to do these little breathing tubes gold as well? He's not going to get much color otherwise. He's going to get this little red grenades because I think TNT is definitely going to be red. Unless I do yellow dynamite. It's because, you know, louder and stuff. We'll come back and debate on you later. Let's go in and see if I like some gold bullet casings. Especially since I'm going over that plate mail with it, it'll have that little bit more brassy tone. Again, I don't know why I'm being so delicate. Because I'm basically going to be going over those straps like leather anyways. So, where you're at before you end up leaving to Doom, you guys got snow yet? They start threatening us with it later this week. Yeah, it's been getting stupid cold in the middle of the night. I actually had to turn the thermostat, and it goes against my better dad senses, but man, it was chilly. I'm glad that I went back and did these bullet casings gold. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I don't mind playing out in the snow, but man, I'm a tubby guy. I don't do ice. We fall, we don't break, we just bruise for like 6 months. And welcome back, Alex.
Just adding some gold embellishments. Going back through, I didn't like the silver bullet look. See, and that's what I like about like the kind of dry brushing technique. If I wasn't somebody that was very comfortable with dry brushing, there's no way in hell I would have been brave enough to just streak those little tiny nibs right there with gold. Hey, no worries, the Doom. I greatly appreciate you showing up, man. That made my whole day right there. So made me feel like I'm somebody important out there. So much love, my dude. You have a great night. I wonder if I tighten that, if it'll play a little nicer. Is it that that's... Aha. I think I realized why I'm wiggling so much. I don't think I have my leg fully extended. There we go. Oh, no worries, my dude. Also, very much appreciate you taking the time to come hang out. It was one of those things, like I said, I wasn't even sure if this is something I was going to do, but I'm glad I did because it's definitely made this hobby time feel a lot better. Because I definitely would have felt a lot more defeated if I would have spent this many hours by myself painting these metals. Because metallic, I know, is not a lot of people's favorites, and I understand why, but they're definitely one of my favorites to paint. And having some people to BS what I'm doing has definitely been handy. So, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing it much longer, anyways, because it's getting, yeah, it's getting close to I think 2 a.m. here. If it's getting close to 4 to Doom's time. Yeah, I'm so glad I just did those bolts gold though. That looks so dope. Um, Cool. I'll have to look in your section because I know I did post it in a few discords I'm in, but I always want to be respectful of people, especially that have like personal discords and not like community discords. Uh, and I know that sounds weird because it's one of those things that, you know, you do create a community because there are those people in there and stuff like that. But I just mean like specifically, like I feel bad at shilling my content in somewhere where somebody else is shilling their content, you know. Uh, but I also understand the being helpful and stuff. So I greatly appreciate it. Aw, thanks, Eric. So the thing I was just discussing with the Doom here. Let me see if I can turn the brightness down just a little bit on this. So, with the little gold details and accents that I'm adding, I like to take and add gold or brass colors on like wiring where it has like specifically like the coil style wiring because I think it just pops so well. Do I want to do it on his face? If I'm not mistaken, I think the Doom said yes, that I should do it on his face because I just these little bits right here being gold, I think it would definitely pop. Okay. So I'll weather it back down anyways, but I think that's all of us in agreement. So, oh yeah, instantly no regrets. No regrets. Although, I think I do hear the wifey stirring, so I think that I'm correct in the sense that either I'm going to finish these golds and save the color work for tomorrow or the next day, or I might, who knows? I doubt I'll get up early and do it, but it's definitely, we might just weather tonight just to get it out of the way and then do the color pops later. Yeah, I'm 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 glad we did that. That that looks savage. I think the hardest part, I think the main reason why I don't want to do the color pops is because I like brown here, the red or yellow on the TNT, potentially some brown here on the handle. Yeah. So, little rope on this guy. Ooh, you know what? Since we're just throwing little tings of gold in places, let's see. Let's see if I'm talented enough to hit just his tiny little goggles. Because I use yellow eyes, and I feel like gold would be really cool to then do some blue lenses. Make it feel kind of steampunky. Oh man, yeah, coffee is important. The only reason I'm not drinking coffee is because I eventually want to go to sleep. Granted, I'm a farm boy. I can drink coffee 24/7, but I don't want to deal with that possible heartburn in the morning from going to bed on an empty stomach full of coffee. Uh, I love it. I'm glad I just did those tiny little goggles. That's so stupid. Alright, let's see. Oop, you got a cord. Boom. Back with coffee. So, you said you got to dip a little bit to do schoolwork stuff. Uh, are you learning school stuff or teaching school stuff? 'Cause one of my buddies, see, my buddy does the same thing. His fiance he met in Thailand, doing that process. He uses it as his way. He's like, he comes back home to the States. He works for like 6 months to a year to build up his fun money supply, and then he travels back over, for 6 months to a year, teaching English over in Thailand and stuff, and it's just so fun, and he has such great stories and stuff like that. And I want to say you're in you're not in Beijing, you're not in Bangkok, not in Bangkok. Uh, I know it's a B word. I feel like it's a B word. I can't remember exactly where you're located. See, and I assumed you were originally an American. Taiwan, that's what it was. I was way off. And I could have remembered it because I remember when you brought it up the other day. I remember because like everything in the U.S. because you're talking about the like a lot of the culture there is a very American culture, and it's I thought about it because I was like everything's made in China or made in Japan or it's made in Taiwan, and so it makes sense that a lot of American commerce is being made there, so it makes sense that they're also using the exports and stuff. So maybe it was 40 Epic that was going to Beijing. 40K Epic narrator. Ooh, sneaky hoses. And sneaky back hoses. Got it. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure he's in the UK right now, but I know he's heading back over soon. The whole pandemic just screwing it up for everybody. You might go back over that in yellow, but for now you're getting that little gold. All right. Oh, and let's share. I don't know how well it's shot, but that's how the little grot goggles turned out with little gold highlight. I think it looked. Kind of enjoying finding a dumb excuse to add a little pop of gold on everybody. Oh, that would be so cool. See, and I think that's probably like the coolest thing. Like when we were kids, man, the strangers on the internet and like we wouldn't even get to meet and stuff, and now it's like people look forward to stuff like that, that you're like be in real life friends instead of just, creepers on the internet just loving each other for similar interests. I've now come to the realization that I don't know what color I normally paint my wires on my rockets. Thanks, my dude. I appreciate you stopping by. And yeah, I will probably be finishing right after this. But it was actually really easy to do, 4 hours of streaming in the middle of the night. So I might be doing this a little bit more. Thanks for the encouragement, brother. I wonder. All right. There we go. I'm going to make some quick adjustments. we're almost done with all of our gold accents. Kind of like the way this gold and silver plates almost make like a brassy tone for these casings. Trying to figure out a way so I don't feel like I'm shaking as much. I feel like I've been shaking this damn cam the whole time. Oh man. Herox talks about coffee, and now I'm smelling coffee.
Is that everybody with the little splash of gold somewhere? Just the bullets is all I'm gonna use on him. So he's gonna have the brown pop later with leather. And you don't have any bullets on you. So we're gonna cheat that little color pop down here. Rebar. And I think everybody but you. And the way we cheat that in. So this little quarter here. Oh yeah. Golden Whip antenna looks way better.
So I think we're at a decent stopping point with the metallics. So the question is, do I want to try and go through and wash them all back down real quick? Or do I just want to call it a night? I think I just want to call it a night. Yeah, we're already over 2 hours on this one as well. And I've had some amazing conversations with some amazing people. Yeah, I think we're going to call it. So, huge shout out to everyone that stopped by. Thank you so much to Jay from Jay's Diecast Customs, Erox Minis, The Real to Doom, Brack the War Boss, and I'm gonna stop in from my dad, which was awesome. So I greatly appreciate you guys definitely stopping in because it made this first live stream a lot more palatable and less stressful than I thought it was going to be initially. So I love you guys and thank you all for stopping in for more misadventures of Mr. Fish. Have a wonderful night.